you ready? I said, are you ready?
Good evening, one and all. Am I unmuted? Good. I better be. Big stream. I always anticipate audio issues, and I usually get some kind of thing wrong with the intro, so I didn't make up a big speech this time. But I want to welcome everyone here this evening for something I've been looking forward to for quite some time. It is going to be the breakdown of Isom #2, courtesy of our good friend Eric July and the Rippaverse team. Yes, there's.
Wait, you're friends with Eric? How'd you make that happen?
Shh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sure, it's a secret when it's important.
Yeah. Me and Eric are best friends. We talk every Sunday for brunch. Man. It's great. All that nonsense notwithstanding, I'm joined this evening by gentlemen who are all here after work, hopefully having had some good supper in them. How are you guys doing this evening? I'm joined by, as always, my frequent collaborator, the absolute master of negromancy, Animaine. How are you, sir?
What's good? What's good? Thank you for having me on. As usual, man, I love coming here to chop it up with you about just about anything. And of course, we joined by some of the best to do it. And I'm going to let you introduce them. I'm not going to steal the spotlight because usually I'm not only the master of negromancy, I'm the master of introductions. I do it like no other. But this is your house, so I'm going to respect your house and let you do that.
As a white dude, am I allowed to say negromancy?
Well,
I'll allow
now,
it. I'll give you a
Royce,
lane.
hold on.
I'll allow it.
I'll allow it.
Technically, and I've got the clip to prove it, AJ said, I am blacker than Trevor Noah. So technically, you are the only white guy here.
Wow.
I said as a white guy.
Can confirm true.
The hell? I wasn't saying
John
you
is
weren't
indeed
black,
blacker than
John.
Trevor
Everybody
Noah.
knows you're black. Well, I don't know why we...
They
Y'all knew that, right?
They
Like-
waffling a little bit on the invite to the barbecue, but that's okay. I'm going to earn it one day.
Bro, I already said you in there. You do more black shit than I do. Apparently.
Damn.
So who am I to tell your country ass that you can't come in?
Oh, shit.
Hey, AJ, do me a favor. Say country one more time.
Country.
Matter of fact, no. Okay, say country ass.
Country ass.
Okay.
What are you
there
looking
go.
for?
No, I'm just saying the fact that you fuse it all into one word proves
Country
that John is not blacker than you. He may be up there roundabout in that stratosphere, but he's not blacker than you because you fuse it all into one word too clean.
It's
Hold on. Nobody's more country than our next guest on the panel. Please, I would like to introduce this wonderful person.
Oh, shit.
My God.
he never matches.
What in the absolute hell?
Okay, so what happened was that Shiro got like a vinyl record for her birthday. Shouts out to Abomination AJ for getting that for her birthday, right? She got a vinyl record player. And so I had bought, that was actually jamming. That was Kanye West that I was jamming to, like off the second album. I was on my third margarita and I was grilling and I was feeling myself. Okay. I just, I didn't know it was going to turn into
Grilling
that.
and chilling.
Oh, grilling and chilling. Yes, sir.
Please welcome Mr. Left Eye Ego. How are you, sir?
Doing great, man. Thanks for having us back on. Ready to discuss issue 2. I'm ready to go and excited about it, man.
I've been looking forward to this, and I'm glad you guys are able to come back too. My other guest is He's the Abomination known as AJ, a man who looks like a man but is actually a werewolf in disguise.
Shout out, yes sir.
And also confirm. Can also
Supernaturals, which is another reason I was enjoying some of the things I was seeing in Isom too.
Right.
So I kind of figured you'd have something to bite into. And new to the Isom breakdown live stream panel, someone I deeply respect and really wanted his opinion on is I know he looks like a man, but actually there's a lot of lore behind this. But
oh shit,
he's actually one of Roger from American Dad's Disguises, and Mr. Royce from.
Stop it, John! Stop it! You can't tell the chat that they'll take that and run with it. You just it's not a thing.
Spanish.
All right.
I actually had a big meme I wanted to construct. It's nothing but in jokes.
Oh God.
I unfortunately was not able to have the time to do that because I had to do some stuff in the yard. But like I always say, any day that a man can operate heavy machinery or automatic weaponry is a good day. And gentlemen, I had a good day.
Mm-hmm.
I would say anytime a man can walk a bull or animals at the same time, that's a good day. And I'm saying that to say that, hey man, I think we all of us individually add a lot of value to this YouTube community or just the world in general. So that line, touch grass, do that shit for real. Go find something that away from the internet, away from, I guess, all of this man-made shit, and just enjoy being. That's all.
Preach, brother, preach.
I used a 3-foot auger to not only touch grass, but drill like 2 feet underneath it. So
only 2 feet?
Well, damn.
Well, I only need 2 feet. Damn.
I did that with a post hole digger. What are you cheating
Bro,
for?
the ground where I'm at is so dry. It's not even fun. The auger was even having trouble with some of it. We have to soak some of the holes. We have to get a bunch of the holes wet, giggity, and then try it tomorrow after they've softened up a little bit.
I've been there. Wait, when are we gonna do the blue collar stream before we get into all the Isom shit, man? When are we gonna put together the blue collar stream?
Oh, that sounds good. I'm all for it, man.
Because I got some people that are interested in the blue collar stream, and then we're just gonna sit there and just swap blue collar stories of being at work and just being royally pissed.
That might have to be a Rumble exclusive.
That's gonna have to be a Rumble exclusive because you get a bunch of construction workers in the room. We're gonna say some shit that's definitely not allowed on fucking YouTube.
I'll add a bunch of ER stories on top of it too. Oh shit!
Yes, bring it.
Anyway, first we're going to go and say hello to the chat, and first one who was here was Ultimate Kahuna. How are you doing? Christopher D. Brand went for a smoke and missed the intro. Oh, and let me go over and see. Nope, nobody over on Rumble. If you are on, if you guys would like, please go over, help us grow over. Remember, we are simul streaming over on Rumble, on my channel. Drop a like and a comment. Help us boost up there and try to go up in the leaderboards a little bit because Rumble is the best new tech site that is growing. And I'm trying to, me and Royce, everybody that's on there, trying to, fight for our little spots. Every little bit helps, and I'd appreciate it. And I'll just drop a little comment myself. And say hello over there. Gotcha. And gentlemen, you are also free to stream to your channels if you desire.
I want people to come over here. You're monetized, bro. You're monetized. I want people to come over here and give you money. That's why I'm not doing it on my channel.
I'm making a little bit.
You need all the shekels. Throw them shekels, y'all.
I'm making some with Twitter. Just my usual bullshit on Twitter is making a little bit of pocket change. So
really?
Yes.
That's awesome, dude. Fantastic.
Yeah, but dude, you fight a lot of people and shit though. I
don't try and fight people.
Shit, you don't try.
This man's a
Olay. 5 o'clock in the morning, and I open up Twitter, and there's John just going at some motherfucker. I'm like, dude, it's 5 in the morning.
Well, to be in my defense, I should not tweet before coffee. That's got me in more trouble than you know.
Man wakes up every day and chooses violence on Twitter.
Every
violence
day.
And chaos. And the worst part is not only is this the pre-coffee stream, but it's probably the shit stream as well. So it's not like he actually sits down and plans this stuff. It's just like, taking my morning dump, start some shit with some idiots on Twitter, get 1 million impressions. Why not?
Toilet tweets.
Toilet tweets, exactly.
You'd be surprised how many of those big tweets that I have that pop off were authored on the fucking commode. It was hilarious.
Bro, you need to let people know, like, hey, man, this isn't my final form. These are tweet. This is Twitter.
Exactly.
That's what I would do, man. Like, you fell for my trap card.
Oh shit.
Y'all can too. I can tell you how. It's real easy to trigger some people, some corners of Twitter. Resident One says, I'm here like I told you. Where do you want me? Right where you are, sir. Thank you very much. Let's see. Here you go. Animation Overlord. Hail to you. Tom Highland. Hey, guys, and hail. The lovely Mrs. Royce is over in the chat. Paladin Dragoon Rider. Hello to you. I promised Royce that I would not do any goat jokes tonight. So you have my promise.
You
on that.
motherfucker, you already threw it out there, you son of a bitch.
That's it. I was gonna throw it in with the meme, but the meme didn't get made. Whatever. Guilty Gearhead, hello. Good to see you,
that
sir.
reminds me.
Timo Berman, good to see you too, sir. Hello to Andrew Campbell, all the way over there. He's asking who made him a mod. I made you a mod because you're quite here often, and sometimes you never know. I might need somebody. Oh shit! It is everyone's favorite problematic cactus. Oh, Arnold, I'm so glad to see you. It's good to see you, bro. Mike
Go
has
ahead
bad
and assume your normal spot in the corner.
Please. Not enough trouble. Not enough trouble this time. Carol Brown says she heard there were goats here. Okay, I said I wouldn't do goat jokes, but you know Carol, she's been on this all week.
She has it in her calendar.
Yes, she has
every Wednesday.
Ultimate Tuna for $2. John, someone needs to buy a coat for his wife. Who? Mine?
Oh no, I think he meant a goat.
Oh,
he misspelled.
Okay. Ah! Ronan Ninja Star, good to see you, sir. Let me see. Cannoli Sasquatch in the house. Thank you for dropping in, man. Good to see you as well. I think that might be everybody. I'm scrolling through got a lot of chats here. All right. That covers it all. So we're going to get in. I'm going to try and blow through this a little quicker than we did last time. So, last time we lost Animaine, we went for like 3.5 hours. I don't know that everybody's got that kind of time. So,
dude, bro, I got work tomorrow.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
James is great.
All right. I'll keep the bullshit and party to a minimum so that we can make this expedient.
We've gotten the BS out the way. So for anyone who's new to the channel and new to this is only the second one, so it's still relatively new. We're going to go through Isom number 2, basically scene by scene, kind of give our thoughts on it. In whatever, we'll just go around the horn, see what we thought. If we got any theories, voice them out. If we have any praise, any critiques, anything of that particular nature, we'll go ahead and voice them, and then we'll kind of move through quickly. I watched everybody's Isom number 2 review before I do the spoiler reviews as well. Royce and Animaine, both y'all's. I put mine up yesterday, and I think Animaine, you and I were pretty much on the same page on a lot of it. Look at this. Animaine, Arno, give it me $2 saying he's a big boy. He don't need le corner.
Sure you don't. That has yet to be proven. Okay, so
right. That is a lie straight from the mouth of a liar. No, I'm sorry. So we will be breaking down the whole story, and we're not going to reiterate too much from Isom number 1, and we will be spoiling things that happened in the Isom 1 and in Isom 2. So if you have not read this and you don't want to be spoiled, this is your one and only spoiler warning. I really need to make that shorter. Hold on, let me put the spoiler banners on here. So because somebody jumped in when I was talking with someone, one of my most recent streams, and I had the spoiler banner at the bottom, and they still said, "Hey, thanks for the spoiler, buddy." Like,
dude, I was there for that, and I was like, dude, do you not see the I don't know, people don't pay attention, dude. Like,
yeah, I do what I can.
I would have just said you're welcome and kept moving because I ain't got time.
John, if you don't mind me saying, I think last time the reason we went so long was because we went panel by panel.
Right, we're not going to do that this time. I think I've got a better handle on kind of how to push it along a little quicker. So we'll just kind of do scene by scene. So we know everybody's general thoughts on Isom. One, my God, I have not analyzed a comic in my life more than Isom #1.
Wow.
And I still stand by the review I gave, and me and Animaine are pretty close in agreement. So like, what he thinks and what I think are so close, it's almost kind of scary. And we're gonna extend that over into Isom #2. So if I could do that X-Men guy, announcer guy's voice. Previously on Isom.
Previously on Isom.
Right.
Got it.
That was
Okay.
too clean.
Was that good?
It was
My
pretty-
voice. My voice ain't good for a lot. Shit. We pick up in Isom 2. This scene is the reintroduction of Isom's sister Altonia. And she is going to work at, what the hell is that place called?
Projects.
Projectus. And who is awaiting her there but Darren. Darren gets shows her his pimp hand is strong. And that's when a new character is introduced, Mr. Lincoln, and who knows how to pronounce this name?
All right, I'm about to ask you that. Usebid, Usebo,
Eusebio.
Okay.
Eusebio.
That was a little tricky for me, and I'm usually good with this kind of verbiage. And we get a little bit of headbutting between Floor Stars kind of power players behind the scenes, which actually Florist Park, yeah. Last time,
I'm just here to bust John's balls. That's the only reason I agreed to this.
Yeah,
Whore's dark. We already know how it is.
John is gaining more black points right now. He's in the runnings.
Before long, he'll be putting S's on the end of all his names, just like a proper black person.
Shit.
Arno for $2 says, "You like proof? I was born a year before 9/11." I could make a Norman Down joke, but I don't think anybody with Razor Fist would get it. So, Jen, I will go last. We will go around the horn. We'll start with Royce. What did you feel about this scene in particular?
The whole scene in general, actually, I finally, I actually felt like Darren Fontano felt like a mob boss instead of a crybaby in this scene. The first one, and I've made this not a secret on my channel at all. I did not like Darren Fontano in the first book. I don't view that a shot caller acts like that. You don't see some guy who's coming into your establishment. I understand if he's going to lose his crap, but you don't do the mommy and daddy issues, especially as a shot caller. I just didn't like that in the first book. This one here, when you kind of start to realize that, oh, wow, okay, one, the guy's kind of crazy, and two, like he's acting like a mob boss. I did appreciate that. It also made me realize that Darren Fontano might not be Isom's antagonist, but he might be Altona's antagonist in this. And that's just a little theory of mine. Probably not true, but it's fun to think about. Or he could be an antagonist of both of them. I liked the introduction of the new character. I mean Lincoln, especially as he goes throughout the book. He's kind of one of those guys that in the off I was like, okay, is he going to be a good guy? Is he going to be a bad guy? Overall, solid character introduction for the new character. Solid reintroduction for Darren Fontano because he actually felt like he actually felt like he should have felt in the first book. And then as far as Altona is concerned, I didn't really feel that there was any really difference in her character at this point. But overall, solid opening scene.
Animaine?
Yeah, definitely in agreement with Royce that it was a solid opener, and I so appreciate the way Darren was characterized here. I like how he opens the scene with a sort of a very classic sort of a crime boss, start off calm and then escalate. But even as he escalates with violence, which he smacked the fire out of Altona, that was almost uncomfortable to read.
Dude,
but,
I know. I was like, wait, what just happened?
Like, literally smacked blood out the woman, but like he's supposed to be an evil asshole, so that fits, and I appreciate Eric writing that and going there with him. And
Dude, she hit the
definitely
ground.
right, like straight up, just gone, just out.
Well, she was wearing heels. It's kind of hard to keep your balance in those. So,
I mean,
Work
In
heels.
defense of Darren G.
so I've
Bro.
heard.
Nah.
I was like, wait, what?
Sure.
Pause.
Right. Also, them is just work heels. This ain't even like she got on some stripper heels or something. These just work
Right,
heels. She
right.
fine. She all right.
Yeah, these got they
Yeah.
got the thick heel on them.
Exactly.
Wedge heels.
The way,
But yeah, right. But I do like the scene overall. Lincoln's introduction did come a little out of left field for me, but considering how this
Eat that cake, Anime. You're gonna eat that
eat the
cake.
cake, anime,
Oh,
eat
God.
cake.
Damn.
I'm sorry.
Right.
She felt ultimate
Nice.
commitment for $2. She
There's-
fell on the stairs.
Shit.
She hit
All
the
the way
door.
down.
Yes. Okay.
Shit.
We do not approve of spousal abuse or laughing at well, they
No.
weren't spouses. We do not approve of women abuse here. But 9/11 was a national
I was going to
tragedy.
make a joke that my wife makes all the time. Never mind.
All right, Arno, you got to go in the corner for that one, dude. You got to go in the corner for that one.
Thank you. Finally,
Bro.
put this man in his place.
Uh,
I need a mod. Put him in the corner.
When you say
I
corner,
knew we
right
should have
now.
started there. AJ, what did you think of this particular scene?
let me see. It starts out with Fontano. I like that move. That I guess appearing there or showing how close he can actually get to it, which he's made that threat. So it is cool to see him actually act up on it or follow through. I just think Isom, I don't know, should have expected it. And I see this new character, this other team expecting it. So it makes me think about Isom, like how he handles himself as a hero, anti-hero, whatever he claims to be at this point, which we see later on in the book, how he's been affected with the superhero game. But I did like the introduction of another character, this Lincoln guy, and it shows these kind of, I guess, chess pieces or these heavy hitters as they expand in the world, as well as I'll leave it at that. Later on, he does something else in the book, but it's kind of just, again, expanding that world. There's players in here, some people who you would think, I guess, the idea of a traitor, some people you would think is an ally is now or could be on the opposition. So those are my thoughts
It
on
makes
that.
the world feel more lived in, like bigger.
It does. I will say I like the actual intelligence of Fontano actually just showing up at her spot. I mean, she had to do a biometric scan to get in. He's already in there. So like, oh, he's smart enough to actually get in and just not a dummy.
He was let in.
Oh, that's he was let in? Is that what that was?
Read further in that. He was, because that.
Oh, the other big dude let him. Is it the big guy that let him in?
So
it's
one
the-
guy says, where was it?
I know. I think I know what you're talking about. Oh,
But it's the most. That's
Okay.
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like
Link-
the guys working for him were actually, agents of Fontana.
okay.
Yeah, you can
I'm
go.
just like, oh, you look like a thumb. Okay, that one. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I also like the introduction of Lincoln Eusebio. This is I grew up in the suburbs move. This is something I would do. I'm gonna pull up with the police and then talk some shit and hit you, and then say, and so
Well, he says, he goes, "Are you all right? I would not have let that go on if I knew he would do that." And I'm like, wait a minute. He let this motherfucker in.
right, okay,
Like,
That's
that's how I
That's
read that.
Right, that's a Joker move. Remember, I wanted to see what you do, and you didn't disappoint.
Right? Like, that's
okay.
why I think, like, the guy could potentially be a bad, or, like, maybe not even a bad, well, probably bad. But, like, he's just trying to move pieces on the chessboard around and just seeing which ones he can get more favor with. I don't know. That's how I read that.
So I'm saying that. Well, never mind. It's ego. Is you going?
That was pretty much what I had. It was a good introduction. I'm guessing that this could have happened, but by the time that actual Isom is getting his suit back or getting it fixed up or talking to the guy that was supposed to be setting him up with the suit, I'm thinking that happened in between. This happened between that. doing that and
I
coming
didn't even think
back.
about that.
Because I was like, that's the only gap that I can see, because we'll see later when she lets him know what happens. He's like, he didn't know. But I mean, again, it was a veiled threat in issue 1, and it's capitalized threat on by issue 2. Yeah, that's what I got from my initial impressions.
I didn't think about that.
We put Arno in timeout, and he went over to Animaine's channel, and he's still technically in the chat. I can still see the corner can't hold Arno. This is something else.
Yet.
I will say, for my money, and I said this in my review, Eric is working on learning to write. He is a beginning writer. So it does show, and it shows most prominently in his dialogue. Animaine outlined this himself. Like, for instance, like this line really, really kind of bugged me when Altona's co-worker is telling us, says, though I've never seen you this way, I know what stress looks like. It's just a really awkward phrasing. I've never heard someone, talk like that. So that is probably the worst example of that in the book. But as we go on in this scene, I dig the idea of the power players in Floor Spark butting heads against each other, Lincoln and Fontano, kind of being at it, kind of trying to one up each other. And as we see in a scene later on, a little bit of like industrial espionage going on between the two. That is actually very fascinating. But it almost feels like it's from a different, like, I don't want to say a different book, but like it's an interesting tonal shift from that kind of story, kind of grounded, relatable story. And then by the end of the book, we're fighting demons in a freaking hell pit nearby.
Yeah, this shit went from 0 to Infinity War in one issue. And like I appreciate that, the fact that Eric is not afraid to take risks and do a lot of he's definitely aiming for the not just the bleachers, he's aiming for the damn stadium across the country with this story. But yeah, we'll get into it as the story goes on. But yeah, we go from espionage to looking for a missing girl to beef with old friends, one who's now a crime boss, then X-Files, then we got mages and witches, and like, okay, Eric.
I liked that. And the reason that I liked what he did here is because the guy has said Isom is the launching pad for his whole universe, right? And so if he just does the launching pad and doesn't expand, I mean, he gave us the fact that there were deities at the end of the first one with Norfolka, which is what I'm really waiting for. Like, that's the book I want to see. Right. I don't care about Alpha Core so much. I don't really care about Yaira so much. But Alpha Core is the one that's had my interest peaked like the whole time. And all of a sudden you start to realize how big the world. I mean, like, I know we'll get to it, but what is his name? Gooding.
Like,
yeah.
Gooding.
I liked him.
The guy he's a security service. And I'm like, oh shit, in this world, people would do that. How often do you see that in other superhero stories? So
not much, because a lot of people take that whole kind of, they're a hero, they need to be selfless kind of thing. And he's like, hey, I've got a service to sell. So that makes sense to me. And it especially makes sense, coming from an author like Eric. He'd be like, hey, I've got skills, I've got services. It makes sense. It makes sense to me. And you don't see it that often in comics, because in a lot of other comics it'll be seen as kind of like a selfish thing, kind of like when Booster Gold came back from the future because his initial intention was to become famous as a hero. But that was kind of seen as self-aggrandizing and egotistical, and eventually he becomes a better character that overcomes that. But I digress. Eric Wag just showed up. Good to see you, sir. Mr. Ronan Ninja Star says he thinks they should have brought back Norfolk. I was a little disappointed to see that Norfolk, what was introduced in the first issue, Yaira and Norfolk, was not expanded upon. And instead we have more introductions.
Yeah,
That's
I think
where the rubber doesn't quite meet the road for me. There's a lot of new elements, but not a lot of connective tissue between the elements to make it all make sense. Right.
It's less of an
Yeah.
issue of like it's definitely not bad that he's doing a lot. I mean, and to be completely fair, how many pages if we count both issues, like what is this, like over 200, almost 300 pages
About
200
altogether?
pages, yeah.
So
200 pages, yeah.
okay. So it makes sense that there's a lot going on, because if you were to break it down to like your average standard floppy, this is a whole arc. Like the ill-advised arc is going to be 3 issues, but
Yeah.
that's 3 issues of 90 to over 100 pages each. So it does make sense in the scope of things. I just, I guess more to John's point, it's such an abrupt switch from what we got in issue 1, and there was so little carryover for things that took up so much, not just page real estate, but like they were clearly like important things that were, characters and plot lines introduced. And then we get to issue 2, and it's like, yeah, some of that comes here, but then here's all this other new stuff too. And it's
outside of the Jasmine plot line,
Hail,
I
Lord.
don't feel that there was a whole lot introduced in the first book. Like there was pretty much, in my opinion, just the Jasmine plot line. You got some continuation with Darren in this book. You got to see more about Santuan in this book, and that's a little bit later on, when that was a little bit of a continuation there. You got to see, because obviously, this is only the second time in the 2 issues that we've actually seen Altona at work. In the first one, she was at work when she made the phone call in the initial thing. So I saw all that as a little bit of carryover, but I mean, the first book really didn't have a whole lot as far as plot or anything like that to me. And I felt like in this one, he was like, all right, we need more than just the Jasmine storyline to carry us through and to build this universe. And so he, as Isom's going and gathering more information, and we got the continuation of, what the hell happened to his ranch manager.
Sam, which I am definitely glad they picked up on. Like the way that just abruptly went nowhere in issue 1, I would have been pissed if we got to issue 2 and that still went nowhere.
And found them. Yeah.
That is something I had that has, as a storyteller and author myself, when you are introduced to something that a plot line that does not get resolved, it drives me insane. The only other comic, one of the only other comics that I ever collected in my life was the original Sonic the Hedgehog Archie comics, way back in the 90s.
Wow.
And Ken Penders was infamous for introducing storylines and never resolving them, amongst a host of other issues. And probably one of my least favorite ones. Spoonie used to argue about this. There was an episode of TNA Impact where ninjas popped out of a van and kidnapped Samoa Joe and drove off with them.
I remember that. Yeah.
Never resolved. He just showed up again a couple weeks later, and it was never addressed. It was just no one said anything. And oh God. Iron Age Media, hail, good to see you, sir. Powder Dragoon Rider, agreed. Penders was an ass, but that is a whole nother discussion for a whole nother time.
Yeah.
It's real quick, John. As far as like what I meant, like the new players introduced, and we were talking about Lincoln, and y'all talking about stuff that wasn't carried over. I think that was my issue with it. Like I appreciate that he was there and an introduction to another good guy, which I just assumed he was a good guy because Darren is the bad guy. He's the opposition. But yeah, it is expanding their world with new characters. But like y'all said, I think I was just like, kind of like, what the hell with this dude? I'm glad he was useful, but like y'all talking about stuff that didn't carry over, like the people that was in the club. I think there was an Asian chick.
Yeah, the Six Sense stuff.
Lillian Renashi. I got her.
They didn't come back. Now, to be fair, Eric is building on elements that he introduced in the first book. He introduced, the idea of more magical elements in his world. So it's not like this came out of nowhere.
So what I'm saying with that is, I would like to have seen have seen the characters that I were introduced to, see how much impact they have on the story, as opposed to being introduced to more elements. But I understand the world building, as far as, again, people, the players in this game, like, I mean, the elements, like, I don't know if y'all remember, but I think there was an element that was introduced in the first book that was like powerful or super hard, some shit, but it was something that expanded that world. As well as when he was getting his suit made, and the guy was saying he makes suits for people who don't even share our anatomy. So it's like those little hints of things are being, I understand where the story could go, but it's not leading me in a direction to where I'm like, okay, I truly care about what you're presenting me. Because like you said, it'll happen, but it probably won't even show up at some point. So it's like we're just getting pieces to a puzzle, and then a story will be put together, as opposed to these events happen. And let's say,
I mean, it almost sounds and feels like. Go ahead, man. My bad.
If what I understand from what Eric's been saying, especially on the Isom #2 spoiler live stream he just did with his team recently, was that a lot of like the spin-off comics that they're making were responses to people's what was an answer to people's responses to what they wanted from the first issue. People said they wanted to see more of Yaira, they wanted to see more of Alpha Core, so he said, well, they want to see more of them. We'll produce an offshoot comic to focus on that element.
I am not saying that is a lie, but I do not understand that. There was more in the Norfolka introduction, and then the Lillian Renashi and her Michael, what's his name, from the first one in the club, than there was with Alpha Core and Yaira. Like,
I think it was those 4 panels got everyone. I think everyone's excited for Yaira just in general. I mean, I'm excited for it too. It's just, it seems like we're getting a lot of breadcrumbs that we thought we were going to be picked, that were supposed to take us someplace from issue 1 to issue 2, and they're not there. Like, unless you're telling me this whole Isom is like your vantage point. I don't know if you remember that movie. It was like some kind of event. Like, but it was the same event, but from 7 different perspectives. If you're telling me that's what you're doing, where that, hey, this one scene from issue 2 is from like the 3rd arc in their first book. Okay, I got it. So it's like a passing ships in the night type of deal. I get it. But, I would have wanted to see more of Norfolka, because you kind of tease them at the very end, and you tease something at someone else at the end of this one. I'm like, am I going to forget who you're teasing by volume 3?
I have a feeling that Norfolka comes in volume 3. I think this being a 3-arc story, and it's one of the things that I said, in my first review, and then in my my first review of the first one, and then my review of the first one, my review of the second one. I think he said, "Hey guys, it's a 3-arc story. You guys totally understand. You guys are going to share your thoughts on it before then, but give it the 3 books, and so you can see how it is." And in my mind, I'm like, all right, because he surprised me with this one a lot. I didn't think it was going to be as good as it was. But I really do think that he put those little elements in it, and I'm thinking he is going to make an attempt. I'm not going to say he's going to, but I'm thinking he's going to make an attempt in the 3rd Isom to bring all of the elements together that he introduced.
Wow.
I mean,
it's tall order, man. Go ahead.
I'm not saying it's not. You're right, man.
You think you can do that in 90? You think you do that in 90 pages, or how big you think that book's going to be?
It's going to have to be. It's going to have to be 110, 115 pages. There's no way. I don't know if he does it in 90. But we've got the Jasmine story to wrap up. We've got, which is. We've got the Jasmine story to wrap up. We still have to figure out why Sam's back was glowing. Like, I don't know if you guys caught that panel.
I caught that.
Yeah, but like, we still got to figure out why that's going on. We still have to get some love over there, man.
I do like them light skinned. I just love that.
Shit. But the Jasmine story is one thing we've got to wrap up. We've got to see where the conflict goes with Darren Fontana, which I think is something that we can do. We are going to see how because they've already introduced these beings that have been altered by some way that we have no idea how they're being altered. And I firmly happen to believe that that's Altona's boss, which is why they introduced him here. Because again, though we got introduced to Shadron as well, or Shaq, or whatever the hell his name is, the big beastie thing. Which
we'll get to him in a sec. Yeah,
but I mean,
we're 45 minutes in. We're still on the first scene.
Yeah, good lord.
But what I'm saying is, I think all of that stuff comes to play in the third one, and by the third one, I think. I think the pop gun fires, the racing gun fires, and it's like, and we're off to the races after that. But I think by the maybe if he can pull it off, by the time we hit the end of the third book, we're gonna go, okay, this world just got really big, and now we can start seeing the wider universe as a whole. I think that's what he's going for. Whether he hits it or not, I don't know.
But an attempt.
Yeah,
I will say this, and we'll get to moving on to the next scene. And I mentioned this in my review. What Eric needs to do in order to get better as a writer is what he's doing now. He needs to write and keep writing and do more. I just hope that he hasn't bitten off more than he can chew from a narrative perspective, because what I really want from Isom is that solid foundation of what this world is and the contextual relationships between the different characters. Who means what to other people, not just, why was Alpha Core chasing Yarrow? That's a question I want answered, but why would they be chasing her? What is Alpha Core's purpose? There are people in the world with powers known as Excepts. Well, what is their relationship to the population at large? He hints a little later on about, there was some kind of war or separation. Texas is his own nation, essentially. And yeah, we're a little wish fulfillment on Eric's part.
Leave it up to a fucking Texan to write that
War of
shit
Great
into his
Separation.
world.
The War of Great Separation. I love it.
Oh, God damn.
But anyway, having that as a good foundation to understand where everything is. What do you understand about the X-Men? They're mutants, and they're based out of Professor X's mansion, and they fight occasional evil mutants. That's the foundational understanding that we have for that. Iron Man, what are their powers? Where are they based out of? And what is their kind of relationship with the people at large in general?
Sure.
And that's something that's needed. But moving on to the next season, that we do kind of see
I want to fight with you.
Uh-oh.
What you got?
Well, he's like, well, what are your powers? I like the slow build to revealing Isom's powers. Because obviously we've been introduced, he's got something of a healing factor. He's obviously strong, and can take a hit.
It's the Captain America power set.
I mean, no, it could very well be the Captain America power set, but at the same time, I think it's a connection to the ground, to the earth, and just things like that. But I could also be very wrong on that. But I don't think that we need to be explicitly told what his powers are. I miss the show don't tell. And now he is telling us what some other powers are, just with the amount of showing that he's doing. Like we didn't. And
I think he does that though. Throughout the comic, you see he's able to punch somebody's in the gut and punch their guts out.
I disagree with it.
He's not able to fly, obviously, but he's stronger, he's faster, he's tougher than an average human. And obviously, these are powers he attained for some way because he couldn't always do it, according to Darren.
That's
the part of the story that is working. It is interesting.
So Darren Fontano said here, I think he questioned what was Isom abilities, or
when
he was different.
How do you do that?
And somehow, but the whole relationship, I think, or from the first book he was talking about, it seemed like he knew so much about what Isom was, like even hiring Santuan, like that, where this is what I'm missing from the world. It still feels empty. Like if these Excepts are like these special people and that they are introduced, like we know about them, then with that, are certain mutations happening? Like, do we see or should we see people who don't look like humans or some other type of oddities? I'm not seeing a lot of that stuff in the background that lets me know, oh, okay, this is normal. As well as well, as normal as we need Alpha Core. Like, we need a team to fight these things, and you got heavy hitters out there actually hiring these dudes. We still don't have a clear picture of what Isom's abilities are, because I think Santuan said like, "Ooh, you move differently," or he, he's super strong, but then we find out he's only durable, I think, because of the suit, or the suit grants him certain abilities. So we still don't know what this dude is doing, or pretty much anybody else. We're told these people have powers, and you know what I'm saying? It happens, but I would like, this is another thing that's like, it's introduced, but I'm not really seeing that be follow through with.
Do you want their powers?
System.
You want a more of an outline or a foundation of their power sets?
I want, if enough people know about it, if I'm being told enough people know about this thing, if it's normal, then yes, I do think we need to have some system. The viewer needs to have some system. The characters could be like, what the
Reference
fuck all day?
points, yeah.
But I think we, especially if you're going to introduce all these things, because we're stacking these people up against supernatural beings, as well as I think Yaira is alien. Like, maybe it was the guy with the hands and the under the cloth, but he said something like some people are not of this world. So that's another element where I'm like, okay, now I'm trying to fit all of these characters
Pieces
into it, and like, I don't know how. I don't want my hand held. I just don't want so much. I don't want to look at a Where's Waldo necessarily to find.
Well, and do you think that that's just a consequence of this being the second book, and he'll get to all that? But
I just hope he builds upon it and he is successful in pairing it together, like we said earlier. Like, I'm cool with these things being introduced, but truly make me care. So like, the girl has been taken away, so that's one story, one plot point. She's been gone. We're trying to find her, and which Isom even says it in the book. But now we have to find this other guy. So I'm like, are these two separate instances where people are just being lost, or do they all come together in a unique way that makes me, be like, damn, he did that. I like that approach.
I mean, I guess the other thing to me is kind of like the fact when you have an influx of so many new characters, it's like being a kid in a candy store, which is great, but it's hard to focus on one particular plot point. I forgot all about the Jasmine plot point from the first issue because I'm like, oh, there's Gooding, there's Bloodruth, there's Jasmine. Like, there's so much other stuff going on that it makes you kind of get ADD about what the actual story of the plot points are. I mean, it's not like it's streamlined. I guess he's got big plans for it, but it makes it hard for me to kind of fall in love with the character because I don't even know if they're going to be in the next issue.
But I will say that I think like things are somewhat addressed. Like, you see her again, or Isom sees her, but he's not able to get to her. I think that's when Santuan comes into the picture. So it's like she's there and she was getting away, like, leave me alone, or I'm good, or don't escalate this situation first. Yeah, that was in the first book. So I can understand us not directly addressing it or seeing more of it, but
and Darren in the book was like, get Jasmine and tell her get over here now. So like, Darren knows where this girl is at all time, right? And he's like, get her, tell her to come here, because I think he knows that she's going to be pivotal to however he's got to use them. And so I mean, there were things that where he did continue. He didn't forget about the plot lines from the first one, but he didn't exactly put a spotlight or even a flashlight or on it. I mean, outside of a line or two here or there, because he was focused on trying to build out the world a little more.
I think Ronin Ninja Star makes a pretty good point, and I kind of share this sentiment. There's a lot of real estate in the book to not give more detail for Isom as well. That was something I wanted noticed and wanted from the first one. We get a little bit of that in this one, where there's a lot of panels where you could have interspersed some of Avery's internal dialogue to help flesh out the world. Like, that would have been the connective tissue that I needed.
Hold on. How do you think the world wasn't fleshed out?
I'm just saying, giving that would have been the context from how he sees the world, a little bits of tidbits of world building from Avery's perspective. Because we get that later in the book. If I'm going to, I'll try and find it.
I mean, I guess the weird thing is, like, for Texas, the landscape is quite varied. It's hard to pinpoint where exactly he is. Flores Park sounds like it'd be North Texas because it's for the most part flat. Like, when you get towards where me and Abomination AJ are. It gets a little bit more hilly, and you can have valleys and beaches. Oh, the truck part?
Well, that's one. But let me see here. How do I do this? I'm learning how to. Hold on. I'll just bring myself on. Hold on. You see, like this series of panels right here. See the orange that has his internal dialogue. If you had that through a lot more of the book, that could have been used to help build up more and more of the world at large. Then we would have that that good foundation that I was mentioning.
Word. Okay.
Anyway, let's move on because it's almost an hour and we're still on scene one. We shared a lot of good thoughts though.
Mm-hmm.
But the next scene in the book is probably the highlight of the book for me because it's
agreed.
It's the question everyone had. Why did Isom quit being a superhero? We get the backstory at some kind of Comic-Con where a couple kids are hiding, and the superhero shot. We finally got a good scene of him doing the superhero thing, and that's absolutely needed. That was absolutely something we wanted to see. And then the introduction of the villain of the issue on the cover, Chadron. And we don't know his deal. We just know he's big, strong, scary looking.
Right.
And
mindless and speaks in gibberish.
I'll bet
that's important though. That's important.
I feel seen. I'm big and dumb and speaks in gibberish. Yeah.
Representation matters.
I mean,
I know, right?
It's important, John. It's important. You are the first of many experiments.
Jesus.
Still waiting on my dreadlocks, though.
We had to go through John to get to Chadron. There you go.
Chet, what did they do to John to get to Chadron?
That's really what issue 3 is going to be about.
Oh Lord.
This is a lot of good action. I really appreciate the increase in the action scenes that we got in this movie because some of this action is really good. And unfortunately, for some reason, Chadron wants to go after the kids and make them pay for whatever problems he's got going on in life. And
he can't speak, bro. Nobody can understand him.
It doesn't mean he ain't got problems. Why don't you think of other people for a chance, Royce?
Oh my God.
And so I'm not going to say I was disappointed because it was my own fault, but I was hoping that this dude would end up being Darren. And I was like, bro, hair, I'm trying to connect some shit, bro. And I'm like, oh shit, that's his form that when he gotta, take care of things himself. But this dude.
That's his Mum-Ra form.
I have the strong feeling that that dude was an early version of not the Accepts of whatever the hell Altona's boss did to himself.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely believe Chadron's a Projexis project, and that's why.
Literally, what I was about to say.
That works. Okay.
Because remember, dude, later on, we might get to it, but later on, dude walks through a metal detector and he was like, I didn't know you had a gun on you. And he goes, a gun? No. And you're just like, okay, if it's not on him, it's in him. And so, and not only that, Yaira is also there as well. When I very first saw the blonde girl, I was like, what if the blonde girl is Yaira? Just completely wild fan theory. Have some fun with it. Now she happens to work with Projexis. She's got these powers. I'm not saying it's a thing. It's just wild fan theory. It's just, I saw it. I was like, it's fun to have fun with that. But no, I think Chadron was made by the company that Altona works for. And I think that that's where we're going to start seeing some of these plot lines tie in together. I just don't know how Darren Fontano ties into this, with the exception of trying to prove that he's a big dog in fact he's only a Chihuahua, which now granted Eric July says Darren's important, but I don't know. But yeah, Chadron I believe is a projection.
I have a different theory. I think Chadron is related to whatever the mystical shenanigans that are going on. I think he's related to that somehow.
Really?
So
Yeah.
okay, let me ask y'all this.
It was the
Since,
fact that he was speaking some other kind of unknown language. I wouldn't be surprised to see if he ties into Norfolka somehow.
Language or gibberish?
I think he was speaking another. My first instinct, I guess, as a fantasy author, is he was speaking another language that he just didn't know, right?
Bro,
But
I guess so. I mean, I thought it was just like a big ass pootie tang. I don't know if y'all ever said that movie. Every time he says something like sadate, sadate. Okay.
I took the cow and all that.
why'd he go after the blonde girl? Well,
I mean,
he
There's
go
so
got
many
it.
jokes I can't say right now.
He go got it. Don't say that. That's why I was vague.
It does
I am
unfortunately.
not saying
It does unfortunately end in tragedy because he is not. He literally hits Isom with the girl.
Yeah,
Now, that
Uses a
was probably my
motherfucker to hit a
favorite part
motherfucker.
of this whole scene.
yeah. Did you just get in trouble?
Yeah.
You out here.
And-
You
and
ain't supposed
she
to be.
brought me
You
food,
too
too.
loud.
Guy, I
Terrible.
smoked 2 chickens yesterday, and now I have smoked chicken pot pie. This is. I wish
Nice.
you could taste this.
Yeah, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna smoke this weekend, man.
Hey.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Anyway, you hush, woman.
Yeah, just keep getting in more trouble, John.
John's
Get in
about
more
to get
trouble.
murdered, guys. We're about to take over the stream.
On
you go.
see a murder on stream. Okay.
So, what was y'all's thoughts on like this flashback in general?
Yes.
Really good. It was
Yes,
it was
I like
necessary at this point.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to go too long
Uh,
without realizing the reason why.
I
So
was
you need to put it in there. Go ahead.
I was refreshed. I was like, this dude better have a good reason. He better have a damn good reason. And watching a young kid get just ganked in front of him.
Yeah.
That's a good. Okay, yeah, that's a good reason.
And
I
in,
liked
and
it.
in the little impromptu therapy session he's having with I think his name's Cliff. Oh no, Cedric. He said, he says there were others. So like clearly the one was not enough. That there was a pattern of what he felt was failures on his part that can definitely come across as I'm not doing enough. I'm trying my hardest and I'm still failing. Ronan, I agree. Ronan, I see what you're saying, but at the same time, he does kind of want this to be a little more all ages.
I can give this to my kids, and my kids are gonna understand it.
Right.
Like,
Yes. Yeah.
He can
I'm
give. He
sorry.
can give this to. Don't forget, he's giving these books to
Kids. Yeah.
and charities.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Like,
it's
the thing about
it's
this
X-Men
generation-
filing on all cylinders. It's not Spawn.
Yeah. Thank
dude,
you.
this is. This is for the next generation, not just ours. Like,
Correct.
I actually do like in the flashback that they actually make him look at least a lot younger in this one. So
They
sometimes
did a good
they
job
do.
with that. I was
Yeah.
surprised. That was
Yeah. I wanted to make sure you can actually look at it and say, okay, he's more fresh faced and doesn't necessarily know the I guess how to actually move in a way that's going to be like I know combat. It's just trying to go in and save the day, which winds up kind of biting me in the ass at the end. But yeah, I actually like the fact they show that he's young and inexperienced, confident, but not necessarily all that battle tested. And like the first major tragedy he encounters, he quits. And I was like, you know what? If I'd be that traumatized, I quit too.
Animation Overlord. That's a good point. And a good writer learning when not to show everything can use that to great effect. I agree. I do that myself,
dude. When that fade to black there that he did with the skull scene, I heard it. Like as I was watching that scene, I heard it and I was like, oh shit. I was like, wow, Eric got real there. All right.
One of my favorite lines in the book is at the end, it says, next time I see you, it better only be for upgrades. No more quitting.
Yeah, like that.
That was good. And he shook hands on it. And what I like is that he's already establishing Avery as kind of like a man of his word. So he's not gonna quit.
I
definitely
I did like
go ahead, AJ,
the whole pop in the head thing because it lets you know that there are stakes in the book. people will die. Characters will
Yes.
fuck up.
Mhm.
So it's like you're not. Hopefully, you're not always predicting that it's going to work out. And when y'all was saying a blonde girl, I thought you were saying this blonde girl that just got her head popped. And if that was Jairin, we found out later that she survived somehow.
I mean, it didn't show her head pop. It faded to black before that happened.
It infers.
It does infer a head pop, but like I said, when I was first introduced to the blonde girl, I was like, could that be? And I mean, it wouldn't be the first time. Like,
her face looks different though.
No. I get it. Like I said, it was just a fun theory. I literally said it was just a fun theory in my head. I thought it was fun. Just let me
the speculation.
And I gave a fun answer.
You didn't give me a fun answer. You're being mean. It's because I'm not black, huh, John?
Shut up, honky.
Send super chats to John, but all white people reparations over to our channel.
There you go.
I'm not opposed.
John turns into Jahan. Okay.
No, he needs to stay John for this stream. So we get our reparations.
Then Jaheim later. Got it.
What the fuck?
I should have had so many clips available for this stream, and I just did not have the time.
Oh my god.
Anyway, we'll skip ahead a little bit. He comes back to the ranch, and I'm glad we picked this as another part that got picked up on because in Isom 1, Sam went to investigate an open door. I had theorized in that live stream that Sam was because the cop from the first issue that is not in the second issue got a email that he wanted Avery taken care of. I thought it was Darren's men that were in the compound. It was not. It was these fucked up looking demons who fight him very effectively, end up taking a bit of a chunk out of him, and then that particular building in his compound burns down. And then not long after it catches on fire, we're introduced to a new character, Gooding, which we've already kind of went over him a little bit. And look, hey, props to him. He's good to his word. He gets paid a monthly fee, and he was there not long after that building caught fire. That's more than I can say for some of the slab savers in the fire departments. Oh, did I say that out loud?
Sure. Out loud, yes.
I know some guys. That's their whole thing. They get there and it's just to watch the thing burn down so they can water the ashes.
Sheesh.
But anyway, after that, he goes in and starts doing his job. What do you guys think of that one?
I really like that. I mean, I guess the weird thing is like you're only showing the panels into him and it goes back to Alphacore on the next page, but it was a cool introduction. Like, okay, there are people that actually handle this kind of thing, and so it's more of showing the practicality of at least using what talents you have to solve a crime or prevent further destruction. So I like the introduction of it. Like, I don't think he's an accept or not, but just the way
Mike has bad knees. Mike has reverse reparations. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Reparations. I can't. I fucking can't.
I also like the introduction to Gooding. I appreciate the fact that they're showing that there's a diverse array of different type of heroes. This is more of a, like you guys are saying, he's more of a privatized hero and less of a, I guess, government issue type of entity like Alphacore. And also it's showing to a point that y'all were making earlier about how you really liked how Isom had was finally doing something heroic just by saving these kids. One aspect that's often tragically underutilized in modern superhero stories is dedicating a large amount of time to saving people. So having a character who literally his main thing, I know on his ad, which that was hilarious. I almost feel like
that
the
was
ad
awesome.
placement.
That was
The ad
great.
placement was not only
Yeah.
good world building, but I feel like that was
Yes.
also like a shot to all the people who complained about Eric putting Mrs. July's ad in the first book. So he's like, all right, fine. Now the ad is just my own hero, so y'all can shut the fuck up now.
Yeah, he mentioned he's like there's an ad in there, but you'll see what it is, and this is the context. It is literally for a character. $50 a month to have superhero services. That's pretty cool. I dig the idea.
Goddamn Brinks I got now. Shit.
I always dig. I like a good diverse array of different kind of heroes, right? The idea of one who's dedicated all his stuff solely to rescue operations and investigations, and this is granted. This is something that a lot of heroes also do, but this feels like he's more of a first aid responder type.
Yeah.
Coupled with a little bit of investigative, crime lab services. It's interesting. It's, to me, unique, and it helps add a very unique element to the world of Isom. So, best character introduction, and I hope to see more of him.
Yeah, it's almost like you kind of put not the suit and the heroics, but it's almost like you put Ted Cord's Blue Beetle with Booster Gold. Like if Booster Gold took himself seriously and Ted Cord wasn't all about the jokes, it seems like that's what Gooding kind of is. And I actually like that because especially when he does the ad saying that, Shadow Valley and the surrounding areas are often forgotten about and neglected. Well, with this many excerpts, you'd have them either concentrated or like at the services for whatever city that they're protecting. And so, hey, for the rural areas, hey, for the low flash of $49.99, I'll make sure your shit don't get burned down. Or if anything happens that's unexplainable, I'll look into it. I actually like that service on there. It's really great.
If you look at his dialogue too, like he's all business. He's not, he's I don't want to say super serious, but he's not trying to crack jokes. He's not trying to be a wise guy about the whole situation. He's very straight to business, matter of fact, practical, and I like that.
I have a question. Do y'all actually read the characters of each one in a different voice, or do y'all just read it in general?
Different voice.
Do y'all have a voice for Gooding or like Isom in your head?
Isom's voice is just Eric's voice for me, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Huh. Okay.
Because
Really?
he speaks with Eric's verbal cadence.
I don't hear Eric's voice in it, but I can tell the difference. Like in my head, like I can hear the difference. It's funny when I actually read stuff, like I'll like my brain will just attach different voices that I've heard from around. I don't hear oh God, what is his name? He passed away. What, in the only movie that I can think of him in, he was Kingpin in the Daredevil movie with Ben Affleck. What the hell is the actor's name?
Michael Clark Duncan.
Yeah.
Michael Clark.
Wow.
Santuan, like I hear Michael Clark's voice when Santuan is speaking. Like I'm like just that big imposing figure. Like if that guy was still alive, I'm like, man, live action Santuan movie, it would be Michael Clark. But no, Gooding, he had more of an easygoing voice in my head. He's actually out of the books that I want to see in the Rippaverse, that I want, that like my top three at this point are Norfolka, Bloodruth, and Gooding. I want to see, and I don't want Gooding to have the continue the story, having a full arc. No, I want Gooding to be, every time we see an issue, it's a different story. It's a different detective thing that he's got to do. Like I see Gooding as the Rippaverse detective. I want to see him because that's how he came across. And I don't want to see him in a story that's like continuation. Like maybe once in a while you get a 3-arc thing from him or whatever. But I want every individual Gooding book to be a different, he's hired for a different job. He's working a different thing. And obviously, yes, carry some of the stuff forward, but really get to see that serialized, just episode by episode with Gooding, because I think he is the perfect character in the in the Rippaverse to do that.
Ties all the other characters together.
I think Gooding could be the tech slash the tech side of Avery's thing. Remember, I mentioned that in the first breakdown. Is that Avery is self-admittedly admits that he was kind of, maybe what I'm doing is actually making things worse. Like he admits he was not good at the investigation part. He admits that, you know, his ability, him trying to help out wasn't quite working. Like, excuse me, almost seemed like he needed a Felicity in his corner. If you remember the old Arrow show, like that was essential to him, you know, that character. And I always felt like Avery probably could have used the voice in the ear. And I know that's kind of a trope at this point, but it almost seems like he was written in that way. That
look at Barbara Gordon after she was no longer Batgirl. I mean, she was the voice in the ear for
she was
great.
playing,
Oracle.
Oracle,
right? Yeah, Oracle. I mean, she was the voice in the ear for many years. It's not exactly something that can't be used again. I don't know if I like Gooding. I don't know if I like Gooding in that. I think he'd be a good guy to like come in and like help out, but I think like as an individual, I don't know.
Yeah. In terms of superheroing, he's a support character. Like he's coming up to, he's less of like the actually, never mind. I don't even know where I was going with that. Never mind. Okay.
Well, no, the only reason I got the detective side of it is because he did the Batman thing. He's like, look at all this data that I've collected. I did this job over here. We found this data. We ran some DNA through the thing. Like, you know, he was talking with me and he's like, hey, he definitely comes across as the guy that has more knowledge about the world, especially in the war, the war of separation. Like, and so I'm like, this guy, I don't think this guy does the full, like, knockdown, drag out fights the whole time, but this guy goes, puts out a fire somewhere or solves a theft and all of a sudden stumbles upon a larger crime and like that's what he really looks like to me. And it would be really refreshing to have a character like that's not necessarily the beat 'em up kind of guy, but more the detective kind of guy.
Like Martian Manhunter, like man the watchtower and let everyone know what's going on, where it's going on.
Well, I mean, he could do that too. Yeah, I didn't think about
for
that.
A fee.
No, yeah, for a fee. Yeah.
Oh, that's what I know. Yeah, for a fee. Yeah, for a fee.
I'm all right with that.
I saw him as more of a.
What? Go ahead.
I saw him. I'm sorry to fuck up your joke, John. Yeah, Steve.
I wasn't gonna joke. I wasn't a joke.
Oh, okay, my bad. Well, I would say Gooding is more of a gear from Static. And
yeah.
Ooh,
I see it now.
That's way better.
Hell yeah.
Hey John, you got a applause clip you can play.
I need one.
Please.
There you go.
Yeah.
Royce is my soundboard.
We got to get you that air horn next, man.
I do have the Star Spangled Banner, if that counts.
All right, now we're playing with buttons and sound.
Yeah, we got to go ahead and move on. I'm not going to touch much on this. This next scene is just Avery sits down to take a nap, and his sister calls him and assures him that he's all right, and then he swears that he's gonna kill Darren for messing with his family, which isn't quite the hero thing that I think is, but maybe he'll have a change of heart when it comes time to the do I kill him or not moment, which I presume is something we'll see in issue 3.
I felt that was human. I'm sorry. Somebody smacked my sister? No, I don't give a fuck if I'm Superman or not. Like you smacked my sister. Like
it's very human and it's very in character for Avery. Like we've already established that he's not really a very heroic hero. I mean, even when he don't have his balance.
Yeah, he don't have a no kill policy as far as we know, because he did punch that dude's guts out in issue 1.
Yes, he did.
He beat the brakes and the guts out of that guy. That was
dude, I don't remember that.
Yeah. The first guy he punches in the nightclub is just flash of red and innards, It's like that's how I took it.
I don't remember that.
Right? It was just the one panel, and then the guy's bleeding on the ground. Unless he just really hurt him, I just assumed the guy was dead because, usually you take a Superman punch to the stomach. You don't come back from that.
You really don't.
Yeah. So I'm going to say on this page, I'm going to get my gripes out. Because I think I don't get a real sense of like movement or action in the book. So, and I'm gonna say what I'm accustomed to. So, like right here, we get Gooding. But then as we move over, we just see the truck like at the house. So, I am accustomed or appreciate a good wide shot with a box that says this location. We're here kind of set the scene, and then you're seeing things. So, like, yeah, we see the truck there, and then we see him in the house. So like movement there as well as the fight scenes, but this is what I would say with like real estate. Like there's a lot of space to get what he's thinking here, and you're just not getting it. And I'm left to just interpret what the pictures are saying.
How far he's going? Yeah. Okay.
Or like,
Like,
so right.
That looks pretty mortal to me, Where's the next scene? Oh, wait, where is that shit? You see him right there. He's kind of on the ground. Like that's, I don't know. Maybe he lived, but like that looked pretty. That looked like
gnarly,
a Mortal Kombat fatality right there.
That dude, damn.
Jeez.
But yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Mike. I don't think he killed him. I think that was a visual representation of. I think it was a visual representation of that dude's insides not feeling too good, but I don't think he
hit a ketchup packet. That makes sense.
I think so too.
That's some Dragon Ball Z original, the original dub of Dragon Ball Z logic. Yeah. They're not dead. I see their parachutes. Hey, that's not blood. It's ketchup. He went to the ketchup factory. Skimming past that one, the next scene is Darren has a confrontation with Santuan, who, I'll be honest, looks different than he did in the first issue.
I thought that was just me. I had to double check.
No,
he almost looks different. His hair kind of grew. But I had my issues with Santuan's like introduction, and that Royce, when I watched your stream where you read the stuff on the back of the card, right? Santuan's information on the back of his card sold him as like the juggernaut of their universe.
Mm-hmm.
That's the contextual information I was talking about. If he had like a thought, kind of a thought box where he's like, oh shit, it's Santuan. This dude's like a walking tank. I don't know if I could actually beat him. Something like that would have kind of helped given that context to, what Santuan's introduction was. If you go back and look at Isom 1, you notice Santuan didn't even get named until after Avery beat him. And a bystander said, oh, was that Santuan? And I'm like, was it? Because we didn't get an introduction to him, really.
I don't disagree with you entirely. I think, and this is my own headcanon here, and God, I cannot believe I'm doing headcanon. And it's legitimately only because I was as impressed with the second issue. I think at least some of this stuff hopefully gets wrapped up, and I say hopefully gets wrapped up in issue 3, and kind of tied together in issue 3. But yeah, I mean, this is never mind. That's an Isom 1 discussion. But yeah, never mind. That's a rabbit hole I don't need to go down. Like, Santuan beats him relatively easily in the first one, and then and then we got to wonder, like, how powerful is Yaira? Because Yaira beat the hell out of dude in the first book, like more than Santuan did. And then, so I'm almost wondering how the power scaling is here. Like, does Santuan try to square up with Yaira in the third issue, or even in the Yaira book, and then she just bodies him, or what? Like,
I mean,
it's a good question. Know. Yeah, the power scaling, it's kind of hard to get a grip on it. That's just me.
But Carol Brown, Yaira be pretty Yaira.
She's got waifu powers,
dude. That would be the girl, Carol Brown. That would be the lady to know about any of this, if anybody knew.
I thought this scene was pretty good in establishing Darren as trying to reestablish himself as, the power player in Florespark. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't notice him before. There's the cop from the first issue.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, Mr. J. Joe with the J. Jonah haircut and mustache. Okay, so it does show that Darren was had him in his pocket. He showed he didn't tell.
Mm-hmm.
And the scene ends with him telling whoever that is, make sure Jasmine makes it back to my office. So this is the last mention that we get of Jasmine for this issue, and hopefully that the storyline continues on in the third issue. We kind of find out what happens there, because that was the inciting incident. Hold on. I wanted to have music for this too, but I will do this in this next part in character, because these next 6 pages.
Oh Lord.
Well, if you need backup,
ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Monday Night Elevation. We're coming to you live in front of a sold-out crowd in beautiful Floor Spark, Texas. I wanted some of the raw intro music playing, but I didn't get us copyright struck. This scene, I don't know what there is to really say about it. It's 6 pages of a wrestling program that Lincoln is watching, and I assume that because of what Eric said, that everything ties together at some point, that it will come. This character Larry Shungite will come into play at some point. For this issue, though, to me, he's not important for this issue, so there's not really much to say. Do you guys have anything to add about it?
I mean, yeah, not much. I was just like, is this an in-ring promo for The Rock meets Stone Cold? I didn't know what was going on, but
exactly. Stone Rock, Steve Abramable. I don't know, but anyway,
yeah,
it's 6 pages that I get it. I get the setup, I get stuff's happening, and I get that it's something going on. But to dedicate 6 pages to something that, at least in this issue, is only relevant to show us what Lincoln is watching, and then that leads to something else involving Lincoln, who we haven't seen since like the opening scene of the book, and then go back to everything going on with Avery. It's just a lot of bouncing around, and we've talked a lot about page real estate and panel real estate, and I feel like that's 6 pages that could have been spent showing something more significant to the right now. I'm not saying cut it, maybe give it 2 pages or 3, but that's just a lot.
As it is, it works as a scene break, which is fine if it was like a page or 2, but again, no relevance to the story at the moment. So I'm just going to move past it unless AJ or you guys have any other thoughts on it.
It was a weird. Again, if you wanted to put an ad in, again, it would have been maybe for something for this. I just don't. Otherwise, I don't know why it's in there to show that he's watching something for that long. You could have just skipped the panel and just shown the guy on the microphone, him pointing, and then him turning it off. You know what I mean? Instead of looking the rest of the dialogue towards it.
I really think Eric is betting on issue 3 here. Okay. I mean, I keep going back to that, right? Because in my head canon, he's gonna pull it, and I don't know if he will. I really think Eric is betting on issue 3. I really think he's putting all this stuff in there. From what I have been told, he has said on live streams that he has kind of taken some tips from like Chuck Dixon and some of the other writers that he's working with on how to put this together. So, I mean, I know he's taken tips from somebody, because the writing in this book was
better,
way better. And so, I really think he's betting on issue 3. And I mean, I wasn't sold on Isom 2. But I was proven wrong. I was put in my place, and I was like, you know what? Maybe he can do it in 3. Maybe.
I guess the other thing I'd want to know, and I guess it's something you'd have to go back in retrospect to figure out. Because I remember when he was saying like for $5 or $10 grand, you can be canonized in the book, and I wonder if people that he's introduced have been canonized in here, either by cameo or directly as a hero.
Oh, that would explain how I did not even think about that.
I forgot about it. Believe me, I was trying to get a loan, and Shiro said no. But I was like, "Come on, honey, maybe canonized." She said no.
Women just don't understand these things.
So I know. She said the only way I'd be canonized is if I'm a saint.
My wife is listening. Don't get me in trouble for associating with you.
Okay, I had to make sure she went in the room.
So in this part, I kind of love the wrestling. I think, world building. Yeah, it's another event or something else that happens in this world. And it does tie in, I guess, because this character, who is this, the Lincoln guy? Once they said he has to go, he's like, understood. I never liked these events, but business is business. I'm thinking he's talking about the wrestling event because the announcer, where they're talking about he went rogue. So it's like, oh well, this dude ain't sticking to the script. How is my money being fucked up?
I think you're on the same page that I am, AJ. Like, that's exactly what I thought. I was like, oh, this dude's someone's getting paid, and it's by this Projexis guy. That's why I don't think he's a good guy.
So yeah, well, you think about that, and that's the character, but then I go back to the world. Is this dude a fucking except? Like, is this Spider-Man in the ring, and he's not telling nobody?
No, dude, we're coming up to the metal detector scene.
That's
yes, because
we're
that's
well,
the
not
first
Lincoln.
time.
I'm talking about the wrestler.
Oh, the wrestler.
the
I'm
wrestler.
sorry. Oh, okay.
Yeah, this guy. So I'm just like, where are they in this world?
Yeah.
Except for the ones we're being told.
Well, they mentioned it. Someone held up a sign in the crowd that said Shungite, Texas.
That's where they are. Okay.
I don't know.
What?
Interesting.
And I would have liked if, again, like a movement gripe or action, I would have loved if this dude was like yelling. Like, actually
I thought he was
saying
yelling.
it. Well, I'm saying he's not. We're not seeing it. Or like the crowd.
Okay.
Like, I see the signs, but I'm not hearing roaring. Like this
interaction from the crowd.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to my first the critiquing of Isom #1, and this is not a knock to him necessarily, because you hope it improves the writing, the action, all of it, the presentation of new plot points or ideas. But it seems like this is still in the early process. Eric's early career in writing a comic or making comics is alongside, or I'm seeing it as, comics early development. So like, I hope this comic finds its way of clearly showing powers to people, with the speech bubbles, like showing this person is yelling, or there's a different tone, or this creature, which I think he does with the creature, like they're talking differently, or just just more animation, more life to the world, because all you got is
Stills.
art and yeah. So I'm hoping to see more of that.
I was gonna say, do y'all think that's more of a thing of Gabe El Taib's art? Is it like a bunch of stills with not a lot of like?
I think Gabe's the colorist.
Gabe's
the colorist.
So are we looking at Cliff then for?
Yeah.
I guess I have to check and see if Cliff does with his art then, because if they're stills, I mean, that's something that I guess I want to watch out for. Is like, is that your call? Like, you like to tell the story through stills and speech bubbles instead of like interactive
motion and all that.
motion.
Carol Brown's answering our question regarding the canonized individuals. They'll be canonized in #3, and they have not been yet. So,
wow.
Presumably, the wrestler is an in-universe character. But regardless, he ends up being on a TV show that Lincoln is watching. He's escorted out, and he goes through. Now, this is something that a lot of people have caught on. He goes through a metal detector, and it goes off. He says, "We got this set up for a reason. I'm no exception." But then when it goes off, when he goes through it, he says, "Maybe I'm one exception." This is the first time that I put this shit together because I'm a dumbass. Exception.
Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome to the club.
Right.
Welcome. We got drinks.
I was today years old. And then he goes outside. He meets Yaira, which
I don't think he's an except. I think I'm still not sold on Yaira. I have not been. I have maintained that the reason that people are excited for Yaira, and it's kind of to quote Ryan Kinnell when they released the Yaira artwork, and it's like, and Eric was like, "Wow, I can't believe that Yaira is as popular as she is," and Eric. And Ryan Kinnell was like, "Yeah, who would have thought the big titty blonde woman would have been really popular with your crowd?" Like, yeah,
right.
And I'm like,
I have a no-brainer here, bro.
I mean, she's a lot less, I mean, Yaira cool and all that, but she's a lot more blonde and not enough goth for me to really be into that. But I married a big titty goth girl, so I did.
Rub it in, why don't you?
I will.
This
I will
guy.
every chance. But Yaira, I'm still not sold on her. However, I feel that she built the lore in this small scene.
I thought if there was going to be anyone that was going to try to introduce the mythological, it was going to be Yaira instead of Bloodruth. But now I'm just waiting for the eventual Ebony and Ivory crossover between them.
I don't think that Yaira is mystical at all.
You don't?
No, I think she's
Okay.
scientific. I think she has scientific powers, not mystical powers.
I think she's alien.
I don't think she's alien. I think
I'm going for alien.
I think she is a project. I think she's a project from Projexis. I think she's
There was
modified.
I cannot recall. I think it was the big bad dude that we don't see his face, but he says some not from this world.
Oh, Dr.
As well as the dude making the suits, talking about the anatomy. You know, we make suits for different anatomical creatures. I'm like, aliens are being introduced, unless there's some. I don't know. I like the supernatural element of it. I'm banking on aliens. I do remember Eric saying, like, not necessarily multiple universes, but more like, even with this part later on, it says, think of it as more dimensions. But this is one universe. And I'm thinking if he's expanding like he is, space is on the table.
Maybe.
Aliens and shit. You said Martian Manhunter.
Table for Isom. I think space is on the table for someone else.
Okay. I'm with Hail the Lore here. My theory on Yaira is that she's got like a cosmic origin of some kind, and that can kind of tie into that can bring in like, because that's what a lot of comics do, right? Eric's introducing the street level characters, the space characters, and the magic characters in the arc, and even if it's not as smooth as we've kind of seen in other venues before, it's still bringing all the elements together. Mm-hmm. So we've got a starting point for them and for other them to be in their own comics elsewhere.
I disagree with Mike Has Bad Knees. He says he thinks that Yaira is a demigod. I don't. I believe Norfolk are demigods. I don't think Yaira's a demigod.
Do you think she could be related to Norfolk?
No.
In that sense, not at all. Okay, no. You're going strictly scientific.
No, I think she's. I think she's modified.
Viking shit. That's what I thought. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. Just stop apologizing. You sound Canadian. I'm the only Canadian here. Okay.
Yeah, you were waiting to drop that line, weren't you? Okay.
Sorry, it's not my channel, John. I apologize. Oh fuck! Now I'm Canadian. Damn it.
Gotcha. Moving on, the scene past this, Yaira shows up very briefly, just to show that she's a part of, at least working in her civilian disguise, whatever it is, for Projexis. And then the head of Projexis goes into, gets in a car. He gets a drive-by, but it reveals that his driver is on the payroll for Darren. I actually thought like this scene a lot. He ends up intentionally crashing the car, in order to get away from it. Which I this whole kind of power play between him and Darren, I'm kind of digging the whole power players going against each other, double crosses, double agents, shit like that. That's my jam too.
Here's the thing.
What?
He knew he was going to survive. That dude knew he was going to survive.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
And he didn't give a shit.
I mean, well, they established in the shot before that he's got to be some
modified.
Kind of,
he owns Projexis. That guy is the reason Shadron exists.
So, all right, check this out, because I'm with you on the modified thing. But what if now
I win? I win. I got AJ on my side. I win.
Look, I'm being funny here though. What if through that metal detector, he just think if he had the power of like Colossus, where he can turn himself like metal or something. And if I'm just thinking, if I had that power, I would always have the hidden parts of me materialize so that I can withstand something out of nowhere. Wouldn't it be funny if he makes sure to make his dick and balls metal all the time because he don't want a cheap shot to take him out of the fight? And that's what sets off the metal detector. You do that,
just
right?
Because Eric July is going with an all ages family. I don't think he's gonna go with that. But if I
This
ever
stream
had
is
that
not all age.
superpower, that literally makes the most sense. It's like
I am
outside
so
of, like,
upset. I was
outside
listening
of-
with bated breath, sir.
dude, outside of like
Bro.
a certain 5 minutes a week, like it would always be steel.
Yeah, bro, the whole brief area, I'm protected, bro.
I didn't even think about that. I
Sir.
never.
Thank you for dropping in, Carol. It's good to see you.
We know who that is,
I
right,
feel
John?
you.
I'll be fine. I'm used to AJ.
Right.
I watch it. I watch their show regularly.
You know, hey, John, you know who Caro is, right?
I know who Carol is. Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Anyway,
Dude, I love that. I just
moving on.
Oh, that shit's smart. All right.
I have a
I'd
problem.
respect him if he did it.
I have an issue with this particular page because it shows Avery picking up a gun. Nothing bad about that in and of itself. It's in keeping with Eric being, libertarian, wanting. It doesn't surprise me that he's, Avery's pro Second Amendment. But do we see this gun again for the rest of the comic?
No. No, we do
No.
not.
Eric, there's a reason it's called Chekhov's gun. Now we have Eric's gun or Avery's gun.
I guess the weird part for me was the art with this is like on certain panels, the shirt looks very form fitted, and then you go back and it's like it looks kind of baggy. And I'm like, I was like, am I tripping? Like, is it looks like it's form fitting, and then it looks like it's almost a nightshirt in certain panels too. Like in certain things, like his.
It's a casual shirt. He's just throwing a casual shirt.
Oh, okay. I think
You see what I'm saying?
Casually going out to shoot Jake Darren. But he gets intercepted by Sam's wife, poor lady. Maybe she's Yaira. Who knows? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it could be anybody at this point.
no,
and
it's
so-
not. It's
And they take a C-3PO ride to Gooding's headquarters, where she faints. Which apparently he did that on purpose because he knew she was going to do that. And this is where we start to get a lot of the world building for the mystical side of this world, and the idea that there's I don't know the thought about the human DNA being mutated by some kind of factor, as well as a mention of the war of separation. This is a lot of world building. This was all good to me.
Yeah.
Because it introduced a lot of elements and it built up on a lot of existing elements and it added more depth to the world. And it's also helps ease up for the second half of the book, which is almost all a fight with, fucking demons.
True.
Excuse me, sir. This
Yes.
whole live stream,
Uh-huh.
you've been saying it wrong. You will give them the proper name. It's Hellions, and I don't appreciate you like not calling them by their proper name. So do better.
I'm canceled.
Using
Go ahead and tweet it
layman's
out.
term.
John A. Douglas canceled.
damn it. I wanted to be the one to do it.
I
You
survived
gotta get
the
better. You gotta
I
get better at
survived
your
communist
system, man.
Twitter. I survived comics Twitter. I have survived the romance writer Twitter. Now you guys are going to have to up your game.
I'm not. He's like, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this, yo.
Oh God, guys, really? Okay. We'll go around. Did you guys have any thoughts on this scene in particular,
The
or any of the
whole
elements it introduced?
separation breakdown and everything. I just found it hilarious. I didn't really have a problem with it. It's definitely something that I'm gonna need to see given the proper scope of in the future, but I don't have a problem with it. I just found it hilarious that as someone who frequently watches Eric's stuff, that he would go through these lengths to put his literal, almost his dream world in here. Like in 2 issues, we have privatized superheroes. We have essentially what's almost a combination of One Punch Man and Captain America, who frequently just trains by hitting the heavy bag. And now we have a war of separation with Texas. Not even the states went and formed separate entities. As far as we know, Texas is its own country. It's its own sovereign entity now. So
Ship it.
it's just fucking hilarious. Like if as long as it's implemented well, I don't have a problem with it. But this is definitely a huge example of the author's values and politics and stuff getting into the book. It's
Sir, it just sounds like you're trying to crush a black man's dream, and
well, I mean, in addition to being a master of negromancy, I am also a self-hating Negro. So I do hate when other black men succeed. And now that you brought that up, that reminds me, AJ and Ego, I love y'all, but I hope everything you touches turns to shit until you do right by me.
The resentment's the same.
Hold on, I might have I got a clip for this.
Cause you're an emotional fucking cripple. Your soul is dog shit. Every single fucking thing about you is ugly.
We're gonna put Animaine's faces on
animal.
the next clip we do for the Player Nerd Award is gonna have Animaine's face on it from now on. Okay,
appreciate it. Much appreciated.
Oh my God.
I got a clip for that too. We'll put Animaine's face over this one.
Hear me and hear me good, nigga. I'm here to double down. That shit is a 2-pack of ass. The fuck are you talking about? That shit stinks.
Yes.
I've been looking for an excuse to
I
play
love
that.
Joe Budden's voice. It don't get no better. Hate from Joe Budden's voice is unlike any other hate on the planet, yo.
Dude,
Bro, to see him shit on DJ Academics back in the day was just hilarious.
I'm white. I don't know nothing about all that.
I was gonna. No, you're blacker than everybody here. They just said that earlier. No, what I was gonna say. This was the scene that sold me on Gooding. I like this scene. This is where this is the scene when I read it. I was like, I want like week or like monthly individual stories that Gooding is solving the problem and you know, kind of deepening the world, and you could even bring that into everybody else's books. But I want to see Gooding out there doing his thing, like, and every you know, every book is a different Gooding, you know, case to be solved. This scene right here is what made me think of that. Oh man,
I did too, and I like how he's professional. You know.
Yeah.
That's anyway. We've already gone over Gooding. Avery ends up taking a long rest.
On the white guy.
It gets
Second white guy we can skip right over.
I'm sorry. I feel like I contributed to this.
It's probably the third.
Shit.
Avery gets his suit back. We'll skip up to the introduction of everyone's new favorite waifu competing with Yaira for Animaine's ball.
There is no competition, sir. There is no competition.
I will agree with that. She's way better.
That is a cool design.
That is.
It is.
Oh yeah, no. Bloodruth versus Yaira. Bloodruth takes it all day long. All day long.
Why? It helps that she had more to do in here, and she was around longer.
Dude,
and she
all
did more
Yaira's done is just fucking.
I'm gonna let y'all get this out.
Okay.
What?
Hot take coming in. Everyone, strap your asses in. Let's go.
Let's skip what I'm gonna say. I want to get to the take. Yeah, get to your hot take, sir. I need to hear this.
I'm gonna say, look. I feel you on all the white foodness, all this, and me being furry adjacent and whatnot.
God damn it, John! Who have you invited me?
Are we gonna skip over the introduction of the goddamn wolves?
Yes,
and the big ass dragon.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
No. We don't see Bloodruth fight. We see them getting into action.
No,
okay. These are stars here. Okay.
We look at the dragon, sir. At least the dragon. Before we get to the wolves.
There's no Iron Team. Okay.
There's an ME in that motherfucker.
Hold on.
There's no Iron Team.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
Somebody close my eye.
Royce, you know how I've mentioned before, orcs are my favorite fantasy race. AJ likes werewolves. Okay, that's where that's the lore behind this. AJ likes his werewolves.
I'm gonna back the fuck away as fast as I can, not even slowly. Like,
I don't like white meat.
Dude, we said we're gonna try to find a furry con for him to go to. I think I found one.
Shit.
That's fine. I'm going to my human form though.
Oh.
And since he's not
brother-
a furry, he's just furry adjacent.
Bro, I'm buying
Because of the
Adjacent.
werewolf
Stop,
thing.
fuck, no, I don't want to know what that means. Never mind. I take that back.
You don't want to.
There's good
No.
people on both sides.
No, there.
That's
no,
what I'm saying.
Jesus, no. What the fuck?
Those
John
were
was like,
dressing.
"Hey, bro, you want to come talk about Isom too?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll come talk about Isom too." Show up here, it's like, "Hey, everybody, it's FurryCon 2023." What the fuck did I just
Wait.
get into? Damn
We ain't
it,
furry
John.
con. We just got a booth representing at a different con.
Fucking
Not
FurryCon
full on
2023 on John A. Douglas's check. Good lord.
Am I speaking facts though? Back me up. Isom
mean,
was
like-
getting that work. Isom was getting his ass handed to him by these animals.
I mean,
Come on, bro.
That
Respect
was
the power.
he's not terribly wrong. They were putting up a pretty good fight. I did like I do like a good fight with some wild critters. And
Yeah,
the dragon,
see-
hey, look, that makes my fantasy heart beat a little bit too.
Exactly.
I like dragons.
Now,
And
see, my-
No,
naturally,
I-
this is a good way to introduce that. She's got that magical element to her.
But- going with it, actually, wolves being one of my favorite animals, actually my favorite animal, like that, the wolves are actually part of the thing that sold Bloodruth for me, and the connection with the animals that she has, whether it's mystical or it's just a close friendship or however it works. But I mean, it's not just wolves. It's gators, it's a dragon. It like, I mean,
Yeah.
there looks like
crows.
there's like some phoenix looking thing or a griffin or something in the background of one of these panels. Like, she's surrounded by magical animals, and I really, really like that. Also, the closest thing in the Rippaverse to a big titty goth girl, so I'm down.
I'm surprised that I guess
Consistent.
I guess the animals do the fighting for her when it comes to like getting involved in a fight with her. Obviously she's not going to go toe to toe with him like Yaira did, and that was a good little bit of non-communicative storytelling there. When it comes to the getting in the mix, she's got the animals to help her. She's got her magic, and she does give.
Is it magic though?
They didn't really expand on that too much. I mean, it's obviously magical and or mystical in some kind of nature.
Fucking thing, dude. No,
Why?
don't-
So this put me in the mind of, I don't know if y'all watch Naruto, but she says later on, I'm glad he was smart enough to bring them with him. So it makes me feel like this is more of a relationship, some type of pact, or how you got to make a deal with the beast that you're summoning. It seems more like that, because she does say like, hey, I'm experienced in dealing with all of these supernatural like things, these elements. So it seems more like these creatures like have a sentience to them, as opposed to she just commands
Controls
them.
Yeah,
and makes them do her bidding.
yeah. And that was good that we see later that her powers do look like there's a cost to using them. She's not just. I kind of view her as kind of a cross between Doctor Strange and Blade in a way. That's just
No,
how
there was
I
another
view her.
character that I saw like that. Oh, fuck, who was it? Not from the. God damn it. Nope, it's escaping me. There was another character that she reminded me of, and I cannot fucking think of it now. I think it was.
Not Scarlet Witch.
No. It's not. No, it's not DC or Marvel. I can't. I
Is it indie?
cannot. Huh?
Is it?
No,
is it, are we
it would have
talking
been a
like
larger
indie?
property. My brain's going to like either like Buffy or Angel, one of those two series, but I don't think it was in there. I can't. Fuck, I can't. Might have been in like the Supernatural series. I don't know, but her power set reminds me, and I can't. I don't know. I don't know. It's
Avatar?
gone. It's gone. It's gone.
Avatar?
No, I mean Avatar for the blood bending and all that. Yeah, I mean that's a kind of an easy one, but she can do more with the blood than just bend it, like than just move it. Fuck, dude, I can't remember. I don't know. I'm tired at this point.
The only thing that I got for this scene is that he does mention that there's different planes, but not different universes.
Yeah.
I kind of with Animaine, that felt like a little bit of a cop out. Like
No, those are absolutely not. I'm sorry. Heaven, hell, and earth are all three different planes.
And that's what I was saying. I agree with.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
heaven, hell, earth, purgatory. Those are all different planes.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
They're not different universes. They're different planes of the same universe. And
So
that's
all
why,
of these
when she
events-
started talking about like the wavelengths, when the wavelengths kind of match up, that you know what I mean? Because it's all and I like that Eric didn't try to reinvent the wheel here, and he went with like subatomic vibrations and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think all of the events are going to happen, and they're going to matter. That's like his promise for this story. So we won't see these characters in another universe. We'll see different planes of existence and their effects on one another, which I'm down for. If you can make it work, you can connect all of that. Hey, go for it.
You chose Yaira over Bloodruth?
Hey, I'm gonna do a poll.
Dude, I'm a
do it.
fucking white guy and I didn't do that. The hell? I don't like blondes. Like I said, Bloodruth. She's the closest thing to a big titty goth girl in the Rippaverse. So.
And the representation.
I mean,
I'm biased as well, for sure. But then also, like, you got it, John.
I got it. Yeah, I figured it out.
I'm about to say, man, like the way he dressed him up.
Can you figure that out in our next book club, please?
I'll try, but I'm not in charge of the next book club.
I know it's fair. I will help Katie out with that. I will make sure that this is all right. All right, I'm gonna vote on this damn thing because
do it.
Fuck y'all.
Yeah,
there's a poll going.
It's a landslide. It's up now.
Oh, it's a landslide. It's not even close. It's not
Yeah.
even
Stop the count.
Get that
Don't stop it.
bitch out of here.
Someone clip that, please. Someone clip that. I need that clip.
Shit.
Someone get on it.
Stop the count.
Stop the count. Yeah. Oh, shit. It's only getting worse.
We all know
I'm not tech savvy enough to.
interference. Lots of interference.
As somebody who I really
Very bad.
want to interview the Saska sisters when Yaira comes out, I should probably be nicer to the character, but I'm also not gonna be because I'm just gonna be me, man. Like,
There you
No other
go.
way to be.
AJ's fortifying the vote.
Bro, you heard the people before I said anything. I'm late to the party.
Shit. Stop the damn match. I told you, Bloodruth. But it's not even close.
Yeah,
it's not even
no, it's
close.
not even close.
Get it, man.
10 votes.
Jeez. Let it go till the end.
I should have put it at the beginning of the thing. I'm sorry. Anyway, we're gonna. Don't you say it. Don't you say it. Okay. We are given a little bit of the explanation of the Hellions, and then we are off to the races. And this next series and scene, not too much to say other than a damn good fight scene.
Yeah, the rest of the book is essentially a fight. So-
Right.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's tense.
Yeah.
It's full of action. It's got Avery beating the brakes off of every Hellion that comes nearby. No quitting. Not getting his ass handed to him. He's dishing
still
out
taking some
dirt
damage, though. It's not like he's not.
a little, and Bloodruth doing her thing to very good effect too. And you can see it a couple times. She gets a little tired, and then she.
See, man, y'all talking about the fight and all the strong men and women. Why is this dragon looking at him that way?
That right. Like I did want to bring mention that. Remember
now.
Remember Game of Thrones at the in one of the later
Uh
seasons. Like, you better come back with her, buddy.
Yeah, this dude's smarter. You know what I'm saying? I want to see more of them. You know, like it reminded me of Kitty Pryde, and she has Lockheed the dragon. Well, I do like when characters like, speaking of Avatar, I love the animal companions. So she giving me everything that I need in a goddamn character. I'm so happy to skip over Yaira and instantly get something.
Yes. Be in the fan club. Be in the stand club.
Gratifying.
Well, now hold up. We haven't seen Yaira 1, so maybe there's some.
We haven't seen Bloodruth 1 either.
Yeah, that's true.
Fair.
But at this point, we've seen more of Bloodruth than of Yaira, so
We have. Yaira's just Jean Grey to me.
I don't
care
think
for
she's
Jean
Jean
Grey.
Grey. I don't think she's Jean Grey. I think Yaira's got bitchy white woman syndrome, and like I just
Karen.
Yeah.
dude, and I say
No
that
one-
because like I've met a lot of them in my life, man. And I could be wrong. God, I gotta stop saying shit like that.
Royce turned into a hotep before our eyes, guys.
He gonna be on the Black Panther straight.
Wakanda.
We talking about this
Kinda
fella.
whatever.
Dude, just no shit, man. No, it's like my wife, dude. My wife, like, she does not have. She jokes about having like the typical like white womanisms. She doesn't. She's just a normal person. But like you all understand, when I say bitchy white woman syndrome, everyone understands what I mean.
Oh, 100%.
Like
100%.
it's just it's a thing.
We getting Paladin Rider in trouble.
Dude's just like I gotta
Do
unsubscribe.
you know about this
You
bitchy
say I
white
get in a lot
syndrome?
of fights on Twitter, bro. I've seen your wife go toe to toe with some real types on Twitter. I ain't gonna lie. I don't even get in those kind of fights because I don't want to fill my whole timeline with just that.
Oh no, and my wife will destroy him in like 5 tweets.
Oh yeah,
She
That's
is
great.
ruthless, man. Absolutely ruthless. John, I gotta get going because the alarm chimes at 3:30 in the morning, sir.
Wow. Oh gosh. Well, we're almost done. If you want to, get to the end of the comic, then we might chat afterwards.
I'll give you a couple of minutes.
We don't.
I'm
get
gonna
much
shut
time,
up
but
so we can wrap it up.
she does end up getting to Sam, my boy Sam, who was my representation for the first novel. Hey, white guy, working class, wears blue jeans, flannel, packing on the job. Yeah, I felt seen.
I felt seen.
Big titties.
Hold on.
Big black titties.
Right.
Big black magical titties.
I don't think I didn't notice this part right here because I wonder if that's what's going to come later.
Did you just get rid of the big titties on screen to show a dude's back?
Yeah, you can say black, Royce. Big black titties.
Our guest only had.
I don't give a shit about the color. You guys are all about color on this stream. What the fuck? Can't just admire titties for being titties. You'll be like, no, they're this color titties.
You would
like
acknowledge
the
the black
brown-
titties, sir.
I like the brown titties as well as the red eyes. Okay.
You're like, oh, but okay.
Dark magic.
I said I was
on.
gonna go, John. You're the one who's like, no, Roy, stick around.
We didn't have to say right there. Skip past it. We know they there. We love them. Moving on, people.
We have
So John, there's a scene here in a minute coming up with Sam when they're ditching the underground lair.
Yeah.
And Isom's gonna stick back and fight all these things, but Sam's running away. He's got some glowy stuff on his back that looks a whole lot like the demons.
That's what I was showing.
No, not that scene. Damn.
What? Like, maybe I didn't notice.
No, you gotta keep.
What did John show? Is this?
He's showing. No, not that one. Where is
Not
it?
that
Where is
one?
it? Nope. It's when
Before?
he's running because I didn't notice it. I actually didn't notice it in that one that you guys are showing. So there is a scene where they are running away, and his back is going. Oh, it's. I think it's like it's one of the last panels of the book actually. Gotta find it. Where is it?
Man, I was on time.
Right
I
there?
saw it.
Right there. You can kind of see the scar right there, but it was glowing in the previous scene.
Was it glowing? Maybe it's just the lighting from the camera that you're getting because, I said, in the scene that I remember, he was running away and his back was. Oh yeah. It is that scene. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just the lighting from your camera, dude. I apologize.
You're too distracted by titties. So
Are you gonna blame me?
no,
Not at all.
I'm
Not
just
at
pointing it out. I'm an observationist.
Yeah.
So I did like this particular sequence where they getting out, but some people who were reading the comments seemed like they were confused by this sequence. This made perfect sense to me. I'll zoom in on it right there. He's got a demon on his back. He knows that they explode like grenades. So obviously he's trying to go up with it while hooked onto him, like the little junior Cyberman, right?
Yeah.
And he crouches, jumps with it on his back, launches it off with a kick, and then launches the exploding one back into the crowd. I don't know why some people seem to find that a hard sequence to follow. I followed it fine. Did that bring any confusion to you guys?
No.
Maybe
I think the
two-eyed
people
bastards,
that
but-
you're talking about, there's a word for them. They're called retards.
Right.
So
it's
I
not,
see it.
I honestly think that these are people that have never seen a piece of decent media in their life, and these are the people that need to have those hand-holdy ass games to walk them through the story.
No, you're
They
wrong.
know how
Royce,
to
and I'll tell you
praise
why.
mainstream.
Yeah, you're wrong, and I'll tell you why. They have read this before, right? This is the thing about Eric's detractors. They have to pretend.
Oh,
They have
okay.
they have to pretend that this is the first comic they've ever read in their life. They have to pretend to be retarded in order for their arguments about the comic to make sense.
So they're still retarded.
Yes, exactly. But they're
Like,
not too stupid to understand what's going on in here. They're just pretending that they're not. They're pretending it doesn't make sense to them, so that the people that they're around with go, "Oh yeah, I didn't understand that. It's such it's gay. That's all there is to it."
GAGY.
GHEY in Minecraft.
Not even in Minecraft, in like real life, dude. I see these gay guys out all the time. They're freaking like not 90s gay, 2023 gay. That's the bad gay. We don't like
different.
But I think so this was easy to follow. It's just this part right here. Just the trajectory, because we see it coming from over.
I think he's showing that once the explosion happened, it kind of threw him off his game because he's going through the air and then a concussive wave hits him and it kind of throws him.
I saw it as he was launching off the exploding demon like a launching pad, basically. That was where he jumped off of. A little bit of like Dragon Ball Z comic book logic there, but whatever. It again, it's a comic book, so.
Shout out to Mr. Bug real quick.
Yeah,
a follower of mine on Twitter. He saw because I tweeted out that we were talking about big magical black titties. So
my wife's gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
Titty mancer now.
About?
Okay.
And then my wife's gonna be like, "What the fuck are you guys talking about?"
Mancer.
Like, we were talking about titties. Like, she'll be
for
out.
an inordinately amount of a long time, but the comic does end with a little bit of a threat with I presume is going to be one of the big bads at the end of issue 3. Which
Isom's version of him. Yeah.
Isom's version of him. And there's a little bit of a preview over here for Alpha Core and Yaira. If anyone wanted to kind of get a little sneak peek of that, I always like sneak peeks and I assume these comics are a lot farther along than we kind of think they are, because the way Eric's been talking, it seems like Alpha Core #1's right around the corner.
Yeah. I mean, which one would y'all want to see first? You want an Alpha Core book or a Yaira book?
I want a little more.
I want Norfolk.
Blood Ruth.
I don't.
I love how
want
none of
an
us
Alpha
even
book.
I don't mind spin-off stuff like this when I'm invested in something. Over time, I may like, because when I was like big into Walking Dead and professional wrestling, right, I would watch the side shows. I would watch like Fear the Walking Dead or some of the other smaller wrestling programs that we do on the side, like NXT, right? Because when I enjoy something, I want to see as much of it as I can. But I know that's not everyone's bag. I know that's not everyone's thing to go too far out of their way for stuff that's for extra context.
I said this on the channel, and I'll say this, and then I'll give my final thoughts because I gotta get going because I get the alarms chime early. I said this on the channel. I had zero interest in Alpha Core and Yaira, but I received a super chat one day, and they were like, "Okay, but your channel is kind of comic commentary now." And so they're like, honestly, we'd like, for those of us that want your thoughts on this, don't you think you should buy the books and give your thoughts to the people who want to hear them? And I was like, you motherfucker. Like, you sent me money to shame me. So now I have to buy Alpha Core and Yaira to read them and give my thoughts on them. So that's where I'm at with those. Like I said, I'm still waiting for Norfolk. I think I want, like, the two books I want are Norfolk and Gooding. I want Norfolk and Gooding. I love those. And then a close third for me would be Blood Ruth. But I mean, we're talking probably a year or 2 years or even 3 years before we get all of that.
That's a good. That's a good. Hero Darky Ducks got a good point here. More hype for Alpha Corp. They're more involved in the story. I skipped over their scene. They had a scene where they were talking. In this comic, but it didn't really lead anywhere, and it didn't really add anything. So
interpersonal dynamic. That's really all.
A little bit. Yeah. I get a little confused when I see some of the Rippaverse fans saying, my favorite character, my favorite Alpha Core member is Braxwell. And I'm like, he hasn't done anything. He hasn't even said anything. I did think it was funny that they were talking about something Braxwell said, and like Braxwell didn't say anything. But like if that was his whole character, was like he talks people through something, or they mention all the great things he does, but you never see him do it, or you never hear him talk. I think that'd be funny, but. Royce, you got to go. Yeah. Thank you for being here. I very much appreciate it, man. Thank you for all the laughs and commentary.
Sorry for bitching out early on you, man. I gotta do the bed thing. Like I said, the alarms chime early in the morning, and then tomorrow night, getting ready for Iron Age Nights number 48, I believe.
Oh,
so
who's our guest tomorrow night?
We have fuck. I'm so damn tired right now. I was literally just messaging him earlier today. Come on, brain, work. Why? Why aren't you working, brain? Why? Jared Chrisman, who is actually doing the Missouri Breaks. Missouri Breaks. Movie and music. I'm sure you guys have seen Jared Chrisman around on Twitter. Absolutely fantastic. I'm actually getting ready. Before I go to bed, I'm actually going to release the promo picture and all that for tomorrow night's Iron Age Nights. So, but yeah, we've got movies and music coming out, man. We've got people making movies now in this independent movement, and we also have people making games and stuff. So that's pretty freaking awesome. The fact that we're at the point where people are making movies, games, tabletop RPGs, and everybody is coming together in all this, that tells me that we're a lot further ahead than I think a lot of us, and I think a lot of other people think we are. So, and I say we like I'm contributing. All I'm doing is just interviewing these guys. So, but
thank you. Hey, don't forget your Teespring store.
Oh shit, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. Yeah, so for months, here I'll drop the links, I guess, down in the chat there. But yeah, for months people have been asking me for merch, and I've been kind of on the back burner about doing it. Like, do I really want to? I don't know. Like, all I can really do is Teespring, because I can't really afford to like go out and get like the major guys. But people have been like, no, dude, just do what you can. So there's coffee mugs, there's hoodies, there's T-shirts, there's stickers. There's a pint glass for your beer if you guys want to do that. I did get that going, and my hope is that as this grows, I will be able to get bigger and better merch out there. I will be actively looking into goat plushies to put the A Drink with Crazy logo on, because that's apparently a thing.
Oh,
so I am looking into that. But yeah, man, people have been telling me for a while. They're like, dude, we want it. I'm like, but I can't. Like, I don't have the ability to do like the really good high quality stuff. And they're like, we don't give a shit. I'm like, all right, you guys are pushy. So Royce's his supporters are aggressively supportive.
The best kind. The best kind.
So John, man, thank you for having me. Gentlemen, it was awesome to meet all of you. This was way too much fun. I'm not gonna hang out
Likewise,
with you
man.
anymore because you guys are gonna get me in trouble. Like I
Okay. Well, then that means next time I have to come on your channel. Then got it confirmed.
Oh damn it! All right, yeah, well, fine. All right, we'll make that happen. Oh shit! All right, guys, thank you so much, John. Have a good one, and yeah, I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow night over.
I will be there to fuck up your chat, buddy.
Yeah,
Later, bro.
You in about.
Look at the look on his face.
Hey, look at that.
He knows what's coming.
Deuces.
I think all that ambient noise I've been hearing has been come from egos.
Is that? Oh, that's the fan from my computer, dude. I'm so sorry. Like a little fan noise.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to tell too much because like I've only got this speaker on.
Oh yeah, it's coming from over here. Like I with the mic that I have, I'm trying to figure out a way to kind of block that out.
It's okay. I know how to fix it. There we go. All right, that's much better.
Damn.
I thought it was my fan.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself.
All good, dude. All good, man. Go ahead.
How much longer do I got you guys for, or is everybody kind of feeling pretty good?
I'm good.
I'm probably gonna get ready to peel out myself. Since we wrapped up and everything, the at least the synopsis part, I think this is gonna be where I bow out. Unfortunately, I usually start my days at like between 3 and 5 o'clock. So around this time, it's like I'm kind of running on fumes.
I get up at 4:30 tomorrow too. So we'll go ahead. We'll go ahead and end the stream. Final. Do you guys want to give your final thoughts before we go ahead and go?
Sure.
Number 2.
Yeah, I think this was definitely a huge upgrade from issue number 1. My initial read through, I gave it a B+. After reading it a few other times and sitting on some things, I bumped it down to a B-, C+. But I'm still into it. I think that yes, the titties, big reason why it's still as high as it is. But
that's why I got that cover.
100. Me too, bro. I had to get it. I seen the tits, and I was like, I must commit. I seen the tits.
If you didn't buy this cover, you gay.
I ain't gonna lie. There was just something about. I liked all the covers actually. In the first campaign, I liked cover A best, but like this is 2 issues in a row. Eric's dropped a comic when I was between checks, so I had to wait. That's why it took me so long to get my review and this live stream out, because I didn't get this. He was shipping them out in order, and I wasn't day 1, I wasn't day 2, I wasn't day 3. I was like week 2, so it took me a little while to get it. And as much as I liked all of the covers for Isom, I had to get what was it, cover B for Isom 1, which I like this. Cover C, I did not care for. That one was a little wonky. But all the covers for Isom 2, I liked. I liked the first one with Chabern on it that kind of looked like an old school comic with the the little panels and stuff on it. But there's just something about this Ethan Van Sciver cover that just does right. It's got Isom front and center, Blood Ruth front and center, the threat, the action. This has got all the energy, and I'm all here for it. So I'm sorry, I interrupted.
It's all good. But yeah, definitely points that while I'm still, shout out to T-shirt, shout out, thank you for showing up, good sir. But as much as I enjoyed this issue, there are some things that, since this is the second issue, I 1000% need Eric to up the game on next time. This dialogue, we didn't harp on it too much tonight because we had enough to talk about, and this was us trying to stay on topic, and you see how well we did with that. But this dialogue if he got to have somebody else write the dialogue, do it, because it was serviceable. But the moments that stood out that were bad to me, they were starting to really grind my gears. And while I'm still interested in seeing where these plot pieces do go, it's a lot of threads. And while it was a bit more of a congested story than I would have liked, I'm still interested. But that payoff, like Royce was saying, he's clearly banking on issue 3 being like the the one that just knocks it out the park in terms of the narrative and everything. So I need it. I need the math to really math in issue 3. You know, I think this is as far for, at least for the Isom book, I think this is as far as my base interest in the issue or in the series is going to take me. So issue 3 really needs to knock it out the park for me to stay as invested as I am.
Understood.
AJ, what about you, bro?
And I pretty much agree. And I'm sipping for Blood Ruth and all the like demonic animals, but I can admit that I don't think this. I think this is another element that we could have waited for. I would have liked to have seen the other stuff expanded upon. And let's say, right, if I wasn't interested, or if the story didn't hook me, if to see a Blood Ruth reveal would have hooked me for another 3 issues. If you know, I would like to see the puzzle pieces that are being put out there actually come together. And yeah, I hope the Rippaverse finds its identity in the comic book media, and you know, kind of become its own thing. So I give it, you know, props for coming out swinging, because as far as professionalism and putting out a quality product, or on time product, that shit's amazing. So I think you have a lot of respect for a person when they package their item so well, as well as the animation to come out, because you know that's cool to see, and what could come from that, like some of those short animations here and there. But yeah, man, the book, I like elements introduced, but I can admit that it's too much too fast, and I don't want to be selfish and say, "Oh yeah, Blood Ruth." Like, yeah, I want to see some other stuff expanded on, some shit that I didn't care about, but I know other people do. I hope y'all get that.
The bigger man, I love it.
For me, it was a bold move to introduce so much in volume 2. There were some good payoffs because I am interested in, you know, characters that you consider side characters like Gooding and, you know, Alpha Core. Their dynamic is pretty interesting too, because you thought they were a full-fledged team and you find out no, they just brought this one in. What's her name? Valdez. Yeah. And so, you know, there's a lot to work with. It's going to be hard to jump from street level to mythical to space and then back to street level, especially when you're trying to put all of it in one arc. So hopefully it does kind of get flushed out and you kind of know where your foundations are. I just think that, you know, it's bold. It's a lot to put in there, but I mean, you know, it's a big risk, but I mean, it's going to be a big reward once, you know, the other characters start popping off with their own volumes and you kind of find where everyone's fandom is going to go, which is actually really good. You know, if you don't like Isom, there might be Yaira for you, or there might be Bloodruth, or there might be Gooding. You know, he's got 4 or 5 different genres going on at one time that you can actually find your own place to start, which is actually a really good idea. So overall, I think it's going to be great. It's just, you know, hopefully that volume 3 ties everything in and then we're going off to the races with the spinoff characters.
You know what? It just occurred to me just now that this could almost feel like trying to do bring all the elements of the Avengers in without having done the movies first. So that may be why it feels like, you know, we're getting too many elements all at once. But like I said in my review, Eric continuing to write is the only thing that's going to get him better at writing. So, and with, you know, guys like Chuck Dixon and other, you know, professionals in his corner, Caro is in his is part of his team. You know, she's also a self-published novelist. So, you know, if anything, he's got the right people in his ear to, you know, be able to say, hey, you know, do this, don't do that, you know. And the only thing that will get him better at writing is continue to write. And provided, you know, provided his fans are there for him, he'll still have the chance to keep on going there and being able to apply good faith critiques accurately and being able to get good faith critiques from people, not from his retarded detractors, which is all in bad faith. And there's a reason I didn't really mention them too much, because they're not really worth mentioning, and they only want the oxygen to be able to, you know, they need that oxygen to breathe, right? Rippaverse, shout out to Rippaverse goalposts for being the tip of the spear in that particular Twitter fight, because he's done that whole YouTube channel and his whole Twitter account to putting these people on blast and showing just how stupid and retarded they can be.
Yeah.
I don't have to lift a finger in any of that regard, but I still laugh at a lot of them. Last super chat, Ultimate Kahuna for $2. Do those the Hawaiian ones count?
Yes.
I don't see why they wouldn't, but I don't really see them too much where I'm at. So
All titties count. Kahuna. All titties count.
All titties matter.
All titties matter.
But
There you go.
it's time to go ahead and call it a show, guys. I want to thank you all for showing up here. Everybody's links is in the description below. Isom 2, good solid recommendation. Looking forward to issue 3, and hopefully we can all meet together for that one and break that one down too.
You know it.
Be nice.
You know it, bro.
All right. So Animaine, AJ, Ego, thank you all for being here. Very much appreciated.
Absolutely,
Mike
bro. It's always
has bad knees.
Stop.
Okay.
They matter to somebody. To
No,
somebody.
All I said,
I mean,
my
That's
statement
not
stands.
me.
My statement stands. It don't have to apply to any specific person. They matter to somebody, so my statement still stands. All titties matter. Boobs matter and boobs matter.
All right.
Okay.
Have a good night, everyone. Y'all
So
take care.
boobs.
Peace.
Peace.
Are you ready? I said,